The Avengers leave Dimension Z on their plane. Stark asks everyone to fasten up, since the transition from one dimension to another can be accompanied by shaking. The plane gets into space turbulence, the unfastened Hulk hits the wall, the Avengers return to their dimension. The Falcon says that the alarm sensors are off scale. The heroes see that a ship is hovering over the city Galactus. The captain says that he was developing a strategy in case Galactus returns, but Iron Man has his own plan. He leaves the plane and goes straight to the spaceship. Tony asks Jarvis to adjust the suit to the frequency of Galactus. Tony manages to talk to a super being. Galactus immobilizes Tony with rays from his eyes. Stark disappears in a flash of light. Galactus disappears with him, and Stark's disappearance is seen by other Avengers. The Avengers cannot believe in Stark's death. The Falcon asks Jarvis to show a recording of Tony's disappearance. He says that Tony teleported. Sam detects Stark's signal. Mstigit makes a hyper jump and exits hyperspace in the Debari system. Hundreds of transport ships with the inhabitants of the planet fly away from the planet Debari. The Avengers notice a Galactus ship near the surface. Mstigit attacks one ship. The Avengers ship is damaged and it is captured by a transport beam. The ships dock and the Avengers meet the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians help Debari with evacuation. Captain America says they are looking for their friend and do not want to interfere with the Guardians. All the heroes are flying over the surface of the planet Debari. Suddenly they are attacked by the Herald Galactus. The Avengers are surprised to recognize Tony Stark in the Herald. Stark smashes the cockpit of the Guardian ship with shots. Hawkeye manages to catch Groot flying out of the window. Drac believes that Tony betrayed friends to serve Galactus. Stark attacks the Guardian ship again and destroys its weapons. The Guardians abandon their ship and pursue Stark on jetpacks. The Avengers rush in pursuit of the Guardians. Thor fights Drax. The Hulk fights Groot. The rocket clings to the wing of the Falcon and drops it to the ground. Hawkeye shoots Gamora, but she repels the arrow with a sword. The captain tries to persuade the Star-Lord to stop attacking Tony. Hulk and Groot are fighting at the bottom of the gorge. They see that two Debari ships grappled during takeoff. Tony Stark appears and saves the ships from wreckage. Captain America and Star-Lord see this. Galactus appears on his ship. Huge cables bite into the soil. All the Debari ships have already left the planet. Now the Guardians and the Avengers have to stop Galactus. The heroes break into pairs. Hulk and Groot break the cables of Galactus with their bare hands. Rocket and Falcon shoot them with weapons. Drac and Thor use daggers and a hammer. Gamora finds a weak spot in Galactus' car. She tells Barton that if you let an arrow in the right place, then a chain reaction will go. Clint throws an arrow, but Stark stops it. Barton falls from a flying motorcycle and falls right on a metal spike. Tony will save him from death. Barton aims at him. Tony says that Galactus needs to be fed. Clint understands that Stark has a plan. The Avengers they retreat, but the Guardians of the Galaxy continue to attack Galactus. Stark throws the guards onto the rocks and Groot saves them from death. Groot calls a huge tree and branches bind Stark. Star-Lord wants to freeze Stark with a shot from a weapon, but the Avengers prevent him. A fire breaks out under Galactus' ship. The Debari planets begin to collapse. Galactus feels an excess of power. His ship is overloaded with the planet's excess energy. The rocket says that the planet was destined to explode without Galactus. Galactus asks for help from his herald, but Stark refuses. He soars into the sky and leaves the planet. The Guardians and Avengers follow him. The planet explodes. The heroes from the Borat of the Guardian ship see a sleeping Galactus flying in space. Stark informs the heroes that he managed to find an unstable planet, and Debari immediately evacuated as soon as they saw Galactus. Tony says that he could not tell his friends about his plan because Galactus listened to all the frequencies. The Guardians thank the Avengers and they return to Mstigit. The Hulk finally gives 5 to Groot. Stark and Falcon are using manipulators to try to place an unstable particle in a sealed box. Suddenly Sam's phone starts ringing. Hulk brings a huge cabinet with particles. He asks what is so dangerous in them. Stark replies that one such particle can reduce the entire planet to the size of a... Sam's phone keeps ringing. Hulk wants to answer, but Sam stops him, saying that he just bought a new phone. The Hulk takes out his mobile phone and puts it on the table next to the manipulators. Sam looks at the phone screen and changes his face. He says he urgently needs to get out and runs out. The Hulk's phone will fall and touches the box. An unstable particle will fall, but the Ant-Man who appeared picks her up. He puts the box in the closet. The Hulk inhales a particle flying in the air and instantly decreases. The alarm goes off. Sam returns and says that his mom has arrived. The rest of the Avengers come running. The captain asks why the alarm was turned on. The Falcon reports that his mother has arrived, and Stark tells about the reduced Hulk. Hawkeye talks to Ant-Man, but suddenly something knocks him down. Ant-Man says that he will shrink and find the Hulk, but it is more important to return the unstable particle. The doorbell rings. Sam says that it's his mom. She doesn't know that Sam is an Avenger. Tony escorts Sam and the others out the door. The captain says that Sam almost allowed the destruction of the Earth because of his lies. Sam goes to change clothes and asks friends to play along with him. Barton agrees to remain silent only if Sam gives him a fresh batch of Mom's cookies. In the laboratory, Stark scans the floor, but cannot detect the Hulk. Hank Pym says that he will shrink and find the Hulk, and with the help of an adapter he will hold an unstable particle to a sealed box. Pym decreases. The Falcon in his room removes all the posters with the Avengers. The captain advises his friend to be honest. Sam and the Avengers meet Sam's mom at the elevator. He wants to take her away right away, but Mom wants to meet the Avengers. The reduced Hank Pym says that he is going to a strong signal from the Hulk, but he is prevented by Stark's nanoworkers. Tony replies that the cleaners help keep the tower clean. Hank finds the Hulk. He fights with the nanoworkers. The Hulk sees a particle and breaks it. He and Pym become normal size, but now the broken particle reduces and increases the other's objects in the laboratory. Sam and his mom and the Avengers are taking pictures in the kitchen, but suddenly nanoworkers enlarged with Pym particles appear behind them. Stark asks Pym how bad it is. He says that the particles have scattered all over the building. It is impossible to predict what may happen. The particles need to be returned to a sealed container before they leave the building. Tony orders Jarvis to block the tower. Hank says that the higher the light temperature, the easier it is to see the particles. He orders Jarvis amplifies the light in the tower. Now the particles are visible in the air. The Avengers are fighting with the grown-up nanoworkers. Stark and Pym come running. Stark explains to Sam that the Hulk broke one of the particles, and it scattered around the building. Now yellow particles increase objects, and blue ones decrease. Tony says that Sam needs him in the laboratory. A blue particle appears behind Sam's mom. Pym rushes to help and the particle reduces it. Stark looks at the remaining. On the floor adapter for capturing particles, the reduced Pym cannot return to normal size. Stark uses an adapter to reduce robots and suck out particles. Pym contacts him. He says he will not be able to increase until Stark pumps unstable particles out of him. The captain orders Sam and Hawkeye to take Mrs. Wilson to a safe place. The yellow particle enlarges Hawkeye. Sam takes Mom away. Hulk finds a huge cookie. Thor fights with robots, but the particle reduces his hammer. The rest of the Avengers continue to fight with robots. Stark asks him to change into armor and stop lying to his mother. Suddenly Stark shrinks and disappears. Tony finds himself in the microcosm next to Pym. Captain America, he tells Sam again that his lies have made the situation critical. Sam improves the Pym adapter and returns to the living room. He reduces the robots and returns the normal size to Barton and Thor's hammer. Now the Avengers have another problem. The Hulk has grown to the size of a skyscraper. Sam improves the Pym vacuum adapter and makes a magnet for Pym particles from the captain's shield. The Falcon and Mom go to the microcosm. There they find Stark and Pima. The Falcon returns Tony and Hank to their normal size and pulls particles from the captain's shield. Sam flies up to the giant Hulk and pulls particles out of him. He shrinks and falls into the water. The Falcon quickly flies into the tower. He flies into the laboratory and throws the adapter into the cabinet with nanoparticles prepared by Pym. Sam's mom says goodbye to the Avengers. Sam promises not to lie to her anymore. They all take a photo together. Falcon and Hawkeye arrive at the Stark Industries building. Barton says that someone wants to steal the fuel cells that Stark is developing. Friends run into one of the halls and see the Avengers in strange clown outfits. Barton takes Sam into the corridor, but then they are attacked by Iron Man in ridiculous armor. Sam and Clint, they evade the attacks of other Avengers. Falcon and Barton fly to the roof. Clint says that the Avengers are being manipulated. He points to the hoops on the heads of friends. Falcon wants to knock the hoop off Tony's head, but the archer stops him, as it can fry Tony's brains. The hole breaks into the roof. Barton says that for everything this is the Ringmaster. The Falcon and Barton are caught by Iron Man. The Ringmaster appears. He introduces the participants of his circus to Barton. Iron Man throws the Falcon at Clint and hides with his gang and the Avengers. Clint sees a shield tricarrier flying over the building and runs away. The Falcon flies after him. They talk on the roof of the building. The Falcon tries to understand why Barton does not want to inform the shield about the captured Avengers. Barton replies that he is to blame for this and must fix everything himself. Sam flies off to the tricarrier, leaving the archer alone. Barton is watching a girl in a raincoat at the port. He ties her up and tries to find out where the Ringmaster took the Avengers. A girl named Princess Python does not want to talk to Barton. A giant mechanical snake breaks out of one of the containers and attacks Clint. A Falcon appears, but the snake throws it into the water. Clint takes the scent Ringmaster Hulk. Barton wakes up in a criminal circus. He dodges lasers and missiles. The Ringmaster from the loudspeakers says that he wants to avenge Clint for betrayal. A Falcon arrives and destroys laser cannons and guns. He returns Barton his bow. Falcon and Barton find themselves in the circus arena. The Ringmaster has prepared a deadly number for each Avenger. The captain is tied up and placed in a water tank. Thor threatens to be crushed by a huge block. The Hulk is chained to a giant toy that hits him on the head. Black Widow is suspended under the very dome of the circus, and Iron Man loaded a huge cannon. Sokol and Clint decide to free the captain first. A stunt archer tries to prevent them. Sam manages to break the tank and free the captain. Clint saves Natasha falling from a height. He wants to remove the hoop from her, but gets an electric shock. The Ringmaster says that only circus performers can remove these hoops. Sam frees the Hulk. A cannon shot is fired and Stark falls into the audience. Thor, the Widow, and the Hulk step on the Falcon and Clint. Iron Man joins them. Thor knocks the Falcon to the ground. Natasha chases Clint. The Hulk grabs the Falcon. The Ringmaster appears again and orders the Archer-Trickster to complete the performance. The villain shoots at Clint, but he knocks down the arrow. The Peony Princess appears and attacks the Trickster and the Ringmaster. The Hulk and Thor fight with a giant snake. Clint throws steel balls and breaks blue stones on the hoops of friends. The Avengers come to their senses. The Ringmaster appears with his gang and attacks the Avengers. While the Hulk fights with the Strongman, Barton and the Archer-Trickster arrange a duel. Barton uses explosive arrows and attacks the enemy. The Falcon is chased by a Mancore. Sam easily evades and the villain is imprinted into the ground. The Widow and the Captain fight with the Acrobat twins. Thor throws a hammer in the face of a Strongman. A Falcon flies into the tent. A Mancore is chasing him. Stark asks the Python Princess for help. The girl turns around and sees that the Archer-Trickster took aim at Barton lying unconscious. The Trickster offers the princess to return to the circus or die. The princess refuses to return and the archer shoots an arrow. An arrow knocks down a Mancore flying by. It distracts the villains and the Avengers deal with them. The archer shoots down the safety net and it covers the ring of the Master and his gang. The archer removes the mask and it turns out that it was Hawkeye. The villains are led away by S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Barton says that he was once a member of a circus gang, but decided to leave criminal activity. During the robbery he raised the alarm, the bandits were arrested, and Barton took Fury under his wing, and Clint became an Avenger forever. Dear friends, sometimes I can incorrectly call the name heroes. Excuse me, I try to do everything right.